13,600 levels. Previously I had marked the level of 13,758 to be 13,748 to be the levels where we can see that the market go up to and book the profits. So that's one of the levels we are actually headed up to. So today we are looking at a big up move in the market because SGX Nifty is quite above 52 points in today's pre-open. So Indian markets also is geared, or it is headed on a upturn as of now. So it seems like there is a bit of a great gap up opening in the market, and gap up opening means that there is lots of bullishness. However, we are actually seeing the market coming down. These are the pre-open rates. There will be lots of jitters. There may be 100 points, 200 points, or even 500 points up in the pre-open. However, it gets settled around the levels where SGX Nifty is currently stationed at. Usually, SGX Nifty will be stationed around the levels where Indian markets happen to be hovering around in the pre-open session. SGX Nifty will be about 20 to 30 points higher than the pre-open itself. So the pre-open rates will actually either make SGX Nifty a lead or make SGX Nifty to follow Indian markets, or Indian markets will be about 20 to 30 points shunned from the SGX Nifty. That's how usually the Indian markets follow SGX Nifty. SGX Nifty determines the levels where Indian markets will be stationed at, which is currently at 52 points, and we are headed for a good uptick in the markets. As of now, we are at the level of 13,685, which is 117 points up in the pre-open session. Pre-open session determines that there may be a bit of uptick in the pre-open and the open session as well. So as soon as the market opens, we may be more bullish than being bearish at this point of time. So SGX Nifty shows 52 points up move in the market, and Indian markets have a great drift on the upper side rather than the downside. So this highest level Indian markets has scaled up to has been a bit of resistance in the previous in the markets. So even now the levels of 13,579 happen to be a great resistance for the market, and 13,579 is supposed to be crossed very eagerly above that. So now we have reached the levels of 13,589 levels. In order to scale more higher, we have also scaled the levels of 13,597 very near to the levels of 13,600. However, we have not been able to cross this 13,600 mark, which is the highest Indian markets has ever closed above. So the 13,600 marks seems to be a bit of resistance as of now, though the Indian markets is taking it on the chin to cross the 13,600 mark. We are seeing that Indian markets is currently shunned at that point of time, that is 13,600 levels. So 13,600 seems to be a great support, a great resistance for the market currently. At this point of time, it is a huge resistance, and as of now we happen to be having a good resistance quite around the levels of 13,600, 13,650, 13,700, 13,748, which is the highest the Indian markets can ever go up to. That is according to my Fibonacci expansions method. So Fibonacci expansions, I had already mentioned that we will take the lowest and the highest Indian markets have ever gone up to, and then we will draw the Fibonacci expansions. That gives us the indication of 13,000 and 748 levels. Those are the levels Indian markets can go up to and get settled around those levels. For some reason, the Indian markets chart is not getting up very easily. Every time I have to, for every minute chart, I have to refresh. For some reason, I don't understand if it is with respect to the software or it is with respect to the NSE itself. Maybe they are giving it a bit late. That's the reason it's getting a bit low at this point of time. All right. So that being said, we have some good news for Indian markets. We are at 9.7 and we are seeing 94-95 points uptick in the pre-open session itself. So the pre-open is quite great for Indian markets. Indian markets seem to be rejoicing a lot above the levels of 13,600. 13,600 was the highest ever resistance Indian markets have actually gone up to. So 13,600 closing is a great all-time high, and now above the level of 13,650 levels is one more resistance crossed already. In the pre-open itself, this resistance has been crossed, and the pre-open itself has determined that the market is going more higher than here than staying at those particular levels. So Indian markets happen to be seeing a great huge resistance around the level of 13,600 mark. So 13,600 mark happened to be a great huge resistance. However, it scaled in the pre-open session itself. Though the pre-open session is showing 13,663, 13,650 can still act as a resistance zone. So I have already mentioned a resistance is not an exact point. A resistance is a zone. Around those levels, maybe about 10 or 20 points tolerance is still available in the market. So as of now, it is seeming to be that the market is going on a higher note. We have some point up and down. So we were almost about 130 or 140 points from the pre-open opening. However, we have closed at 95 points up move. That's great, really great for the market. And it's quite awesome that we are seeing that the market is crossing the levels of 13,600, which was the huge highest resistance Indian markets can ever face, and that is scaled up the pre-open session itself. That's the huge greatest part about today's Indian markets. Today we may scale up to 13,700 or 13,748 in today's session itself. That's the highest ever Indian markets can go according to my analysis. That is the analysis which I had given previously. That will be the Fibonacci expansions. 13,748 was the levels where we had determined that the Indian markets can go up to. See, the Indian markets are roaring like bulls. When the market shows a bull run, every ant also will be a bull. Every ant also becomes an elephant and starts roaring ahead, because whatever stock you buy, whatever the asset you buy, it keeps on going upwards. However, when the market starts tumbling around the levels where it is the peak, that's when everyone actually happens to be facing a lot of issues. So people have to understand that technical analysis works about 80% of the times. However, technical analysis even gives us the information that the market may tumble at this point of time. So I'm already giving you the technical analysis. You just have to follow those around the levels of 13,758 or 50 to 13,748 levels. We will see that market will be taking a bit of tumbling, because there will be more people who will be ready to sell at that point of time, because everyone who follows technical analysis knows how to take the profits home. And this is the month of December. December is usually around these levels is where markets going to be taking a lot of hit, because there will be FIIs who will be withdrawing the money for the season of December. That's the holiday season. So it's already holiday season in UK and USA. and USA is rejoicing without any 2 meter distance or even the masks. People don't even care about wearing masks in USA. uh, so is UK. At least people abide by the rules. They follow the mask rule, however no 2 meter distance. Anyways, now technical analysis happens to be the strongest foundation you can actually happen to have in technical and in the trading markets. Okay, when the markets start roaring, every ant will become an elephant. But this market starts tumbling, every elephant who had been an elephant becomes an ant. Okay, so at that point of time you should be making profits on a regular basis. Technical analysis is the indication for that. Technical analysis, the definition says it's the predictive way of finding out the future, what happens in the market from what has happened in the past. So that's the graphic interpretation of prediction of the markets, is what technical analysis is all about. Technical analysis gives you the supports, gives you the resistances, gives you the Fibonacci expansions to find out the targets. It also gives you the indication about the market losing its momentum by MACD. It also gives you the overbought zone, oversold zone. It also gives you the interpretation that the market may tumble for temporary basis with EMA crossovers. Also, it also gives you information if the market has to go upwards from here onwards by taking supports and resistances and EMA crossovers. So those are the levels which technical analysis can even determine. There are lots more like dojis. Dojis means market does not know what to do at this point of time. There are lots and lots of technical analysis. The candlestick analysis itself, candlestick analysis was introduced by Japanese, and it determines the open, low, open, close, and it's the high and low. It determines all these in just one candle. So this was introduced by Japanese. However, Indian markets and it happened to be a blockbuster hit, and everyone all over the world happened to be starting to use it. And technical analysis is mostly based on candlesticks as of now. So it's just 1 minute now that Indian markets is going to start. Okay, before we go any further, I had told 13,600 was a great resistance for the market. Resistance is scaled. However, 13,600 will now act as supports for the market. If 13,600 is barred, then the levels of 13,548 levels will be a great level of support for the markets. So as of now, let us see where Indian markets is currently stationed, and let us hope that Indian markets keeps going up and up without FIIs drawing any money. However, that's not always true. The markets needs to uh, take the profits home and then move upwards, because whatever the heartbeats go a lub, it has to come down to dub as well. So the markets also is like that itself. It has to contract and it has to relax. It goes up and comes down, goes up and comes down. If the come down does not happen at all, then the market is very scary path. If it comes down, then it will come down 300 or 400 points at that point of time. So it's a scary path when the markets does not come down very easily. That's one of the reasons you have to keep on looking at the momentum indicator is MACD 26, 13 and 9. Momentum indicator determines if the market is having the momentum to go up or momentum to come downwards. So keep a close eye on momentum indicator. As of now, Indian markets are somewhere at 13,650 levels. So 13,650 determines the level where we are currently stationed. 13,650 will act as a support. If 13,650 is barred, then the levels of 13,000 and 600 levels may be taken down in today's session itself, and that's the level of support and resistance for you. 13,600 and 600 levels will act as support, and 13,548 levels will act as support. More so, 13,500 and 13,472 levels, all these will act as supports in the markets. If 13,000 and 548 is taken down, then the probable cause 13,500 to 13,472, and of course a great huge support for the market is stationed at 13,390 levels. So 13,390 happens to be a great support for the market, which is a 10-day moving average. So that happens to be a great support for the market if the market has to come tumbling all the way down. So as of now, let's see where Indian markets is stationed at around 13,655, clearly holding the 13,650 mark. It's quite a good support around 13,650 because it's a psychological support for the market. Look at this, how easily it has tried to hold a 13,650 levels. One big candle came tumbling all the way down, almost 93 points up in the pre-open itself. However, it came down all the way, and now it happened to have two more candles exactly above the levels of 13,650, 13,650 acted as huge support for the market. If that is taken down, then the levels of 13,600 is not a big task to be taken down as well. So that being said, this is a market profit show for today. If you happen to have any questions at all, please do shoot in the chat window. So if you don't have any technical analysis questions, we'll be done for today. I have given the technical analysis for today, the supports and resistances for Indian markets. And if we happen to have any questions with respect to technical analysis, I'll be more than glad to help you out. So as of now, Indian markets is currently at 13,657 levels. If we are actually facing resistance around the levels of 13,663 levels, then we will see that Indian markets may come down again to 13,650 and take support and try moving upward, because 13,603 is currently the markets where Indian markets were actually the highest opening for Indian markets. So 13,663 to 13,670 levels may be a resistance as of now, because that's the highest ever Indian markets have achieved in any point in time. 13,650 is where we are currently at, trying to hold on to the level of 13,650 levels. And if 13,650 is held on to, then the levels of 13,700 to 13,748 levels, which is a Fibonacci expansions, where I had determined the markets will take the support, markets will take the profits home. That's where Indian markets may stop at that point of time and hold on to the levels of 13,650 to 13,600 levels. As of now, 13,652 is intact, 13,650 is intact. That's acting as a huge support for the market. And let us see if 13,650 is held. As I already said, 13,700 to 13,748 can be acted in the same day. It will go to 13,700 and 13,748 probably in today's session or within the end of this particular week. Okay, so that being said, there are technical analysis questions for today. So this is the end of markets profit show with Ashok. And if you happen to have any technical analysis questions, please do shoot it in the comments, and I'll be more than glad to help you out with any technical analysis issues. That being said, this is Ashok, and together, if we gather, then we will take corona on our heads or on our body. So please don't do that. Together we will take corona, together we can stop corona without together. Okay, that being said, this is Ashok Kumar signing off from Market Profits Show at 9 a.m. on every weekday. This is Ashok Kumar